Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I wanted to talk just for a moment about the RMS Titanic. Something that I find rather interesting and fascinating about the emotions that surround that ship. The structural integrity of the RMS Titanic is extremely poor. Experts, researchers kind of feel within the next 30 years it's going to collapse like a house of cards. Now, I also hear said quite often that it's a gravesite and it shouldn't be touched. Well, I look at it this way, and I think we should look at it this way. We raised the Vasa. Hundreds and hundreds of people died on that ship. We raised the Monitor. People died on that ship. It was a gravesite. The Vasa was a gravesite. Many things that we raise are gravesites, but we do not have the emotional connection to them. That's the difference. The reason why people are upset about sitting there and taking things from the Titanic before it collapses is because of the emotion. People are wrapped up emotionally with the Titanic. The movie from 1997 didn't help matters much because everybody got involved with Jack and Rose, which was fictional, of course. But my feeling is this: if you wish to honor people, if you wish to talk about people and share as much as you can about people from a certain time, especially, we don't have too much from ocean liners from that time, and something as spectacular as the Titanic. And what we have to do is remove ourselves from the emotional equation. We have to look at the Titanic like the Vasa. Now, I know a lot of you won't know what the Vasa is, but research it and you'll find out it was a warship from many, many years ago that was rather well preserved. And it went down and with a great deal of loss of life. And of course, the Monitor, was the first ironclad. And it was raised, and they found bodies and stuff like that, and they gave them a burial. But the thing is, the RMS Titanic is an iconic ship. Its story is iconic. And I think for people that haven't been born yet, 100 years, 200 years from now, they are going to look at this story with a fascination, but not with an emotion. They're going to look at it like the Vasa. And that is what we have to understand. And that's what we have to think of when we do research. And I truly believe if you can get something out of the Titanic, the radio systems or whatever, why not preserve them? Do you want them just to be destroyed? Why? What's the sense in that? What is the intellectual sensibility in any of that? It's emotion, purely and simply. Think of yourself 200 years from now. Would you like to see that? Of course you would. Would you like to see some artifacts found from the ship that were preserved before the ship was destroyed? Sure you would. That is how you have to look at this. I'm sorry. We have to stop putting emotion into everything and putting ourselves 100, 200 years hence. That's important. Please take emotion out of history. History and emotion don't go well together, and you have to preserve what you can. Because let me tell you something, I'm sure you're very happy seeing something from the 16th century. I'm sure you're very happy seeing Egyptian tombs and stuff like that. Those were all where people died. They were gravesites. But we learned from them. 200 years from now, I imagine there'll be fascinating things to learn from the Titanic. Because there'll be just photographs and artifacts that were taken from the wreck. That's all that will exist. should be done. What do you think? How do you feel? I know I feel. Do it before it's too late.